Hey, Mama.
What's up?
What's happening? How was your day?
Amazing, energizing.
It was a long one today.
It was, but enlightening and special.
Why was it enlightening and special?
Because we started the day at the Care Center for a tour and a little walkabout with Sister Charlotte. Shout out Sister Charlotte.
Sister Charlotte in the house. God bless.
Baddest, the realest. And then Kitty gave us a tour, and she's amazing. I wasn't just inspired by what a phenomenal operation. The energy of that space felt so sacred. Anytime somebody would speak in any of the rooms, I would just start crying. Once we got outside, Kitty explained to us that it was an ancient burial ground.
Both of us have done a lot of outreach. I've been in so many organizations across the world. Today was very special, and it was in the backyard of Metropolitan Detroit, Farmington Hills, by the restaurant. Why was it so special other than, obviously, the spirituality of it? They've created a village there. Talk about the market.
Oh my gosh. They have a system so that everyone who goes through there is very dignified and very autonomous. It's not just, oh, here's your card, or on a wick sheet where it shows you get X amount. It's a food pantry, and you actually show up and they give you a cart. You actually get to shop a market. They've created two markets. The one in the back is for the programs, for the families, and then the market in the front, 100% of the proceeds of everything that you buy goes to the back market, which I think is so remarkable.
It was in the middle of nowhere. It's in a neighborhood.
Also, it was an old church. Not only was it the ancient grounds, ancient native grounds, it was also a church.
Fox News happened to show up when we were there. That was cool. It was a gentleman that had graduated from one of the programs. Now he's a newscaster.
Full circle.
We were talking about the creative economy. We've organized and mobilized creatives, and we're working to put leaders that are like-minded in place. He doesn't feel like he's a creative. Broadcasting is part of the creative economy.
Yeah, 100%.
Now that we're getting to election time around the country for your mayors, your governors, and your Congress, it's starting to come to light that government still doesn't understand creativity and the creative economy. Someone was calling out government for subsidizing big corporations. I agree, you should subsidize small, backbone of America businesses. I had said something about we're in a creative awakening. We need to put people in place that are like-minded to creatives, because creativity is connected to everything. Everyone thinks that, oh, you're championing artists and creatives, you're not gonna serve the elderly, you're not gonna fix roads. It's all connected. When you have the well-being of people, especially people that traditionally don't have a seat at the table, everyone's gonna rise. Constituents don't care about that. We care about roads and potholes. Yes, we care about roads and potholes. And
both realities.
Exactly. It's very narrow-minded. People gotta take their blinders off. Pull back the curtain. We know a lot of things. We see a lot of things. It's not just reading about it. It's us actually experiencing and seeing the reality of behind-the-scenes truths of life. We're here to expose everybody.
Shut it down.
Totally kidding. Let's have a little fun. I'm gonna ask you a couple questions, you ask me a couple questions, and then there's the lightning round.
Love that.
What do you think your younger self would think about our relationship?
She would love this. She does love this.
Why? What are some tangible?
As a little girl, before ever dating or really knowing what that would look like, what that would feel like, before you're tainted or enlightened, I would always hope that whoever I was with would be fun-loving and gracious and kind and good to their family and of the light and goofy and love to eat. Well, the things.
In our younger selves, this would have been a thing, because I feel like—
I don't do hypotheticals.
I'm saying everything we've learned from what we've been through, we have all these tools in our toolbox that we use where our younger selves may have not had those tools.
But that wasn't the question.
Okay. All right, so you answered the question, thank you.
You answer the question.
This is what I've been looking for my whole life, you.
Oh.
Not to take away from anybody else, my younger self would say, nice job, Adrian. My younger self would be, that's your counterpart, 100%. Very confident in that.
Thanks, little AT.
That 12-year-old boy is still around here and there. Yeah. The jovial part of the 12-year-old boy is still there.
Correct.
The wounded 12-year-old boy is not there. He's healed. As who I am now as a grown-ass man, look out for that kid. I'm like, yo, I got your back. I got one for you. Okay. Reenact a scene from your favorite romantic movie.
Me?
Yeah, this is awesome.
Okay, ooh, shit. My God, there's so many good ones. And I'm such a movie quote human. I could just live off movie quotes. Brain is like, ah, right now. What's your favorite romantic movie?
I don't even know.
One of mine is An Affair to Remember. One of my favorite quotes from that
I'll take it.
is Deborah Kerr when she says, "Winter must be cold for those with no warm memories."
That's a good one.
It's a phenomenal movie. Anybody that has not seen it, highly encouraged. At the end, when he comes in, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but when she's like, "Oh, Nikki, if you can paint, I can walk." It's very romantic.
We watched it not too long ago. I hadn't seen it. It was
Did
good.
you like it?
Of course. It's one of your favorite movies. How can I not be like, oh, this is dope?
My next favorite rom-com is A Hard Day's Night.
That was a beautiful
Kidding.
movie. When Harry Met Sally.
Yes.
When she had the whole, I'll have what she's having.
Would you like to reenact that, please?
No, I don't. We tell our kids not to moan, so we're not going to.
I don't know why children do that these days at school. I think because it makes everybody uncomfortable. First time I ever heard that, I'm like, what are you doing?
Man, I'm like,
Shut
what?
it down. Explain why it's inappropriate. And I've not heard it since.
How did you explain?
Worry about yourself.
Describe me in one sentence.
Very Italian, likes pasta. One sentence. A man of the people.
Okay. How would I describe you in one sentence?
That's interesting.
Meg is truly of the light and as divine as they come.
Ah, thank you.
That's Meg. That's
Appreciate
Mama.
that.
Lightning round. We can say it at the same time. Okay, ready?
Beep.
Game night at home or night out at a board game? Home.
At home.
Camping in the wilderness or staying in a luxurious hotel?
Wilderness. Yeah, you want the luxury.
I want the luxury of a camping site that is in the woods, but it's still luxurious.
I want tiny woodland creatures to watch me do things in a hole when I bury it.
Elaborate on that?
I want to be surrounded by tiny woodland creatures.
But why bury it?
If you're doing rustic camping, you have to poop in a hole.
That's really rustic.
One with my surrounding.
Perfect. Roller coaster ride or Ferris wheel?
Roller coaster.
Karaoke night or dance party at home?
Karaoke.
Dance party at home. Ice cream or frozen yogurt? Ice cream.
Froyo.
Mini golf or bowling? Mini golf. Movie marathon at home or a trip to the cinema? Home.
Yeah, marathon. Unless, and I haven't done this in years, but I would like to go to the drive-in.
Oh yeah,
It's been a minute.
I do.
Ford, Wyoming in the house.
Or it's a very special when we took all the kids to see Minecraft. That was crazy.
That was fun.
Looking out into the crowd and seeing even our kids, even the older ones, they're clapping and they didn't know what they were clapping for. It was in their DNA.
Those are childhood.
I know, but kids were going crazy. Or Steve, and people were like, "What, Steve?" It was wild.
We could do that at home too.
That was
but nobody's
different.
gonna throw anything at us over chicken jockeys.
Road trip or spontaneous flight to a new destination?
Ooh, spontaneous flight.
Comedy club or live music concert? Live
Well,
music
that
concert.
depends, to be honest.
What does it depend on?
What concert and what comedian?
If it was any of our artists, I would do the
Yeah.
concert because I want to support
course.
the familia. If
I
it was
really
comedian,
love to go to a comedy show soon.
who's your favorite comedian's top three?
Oh, that's so hard. When I was 17, I had very close to the front Cedric the Entertainer tickets. We may have partaken in some other things that are of nature right before we went in. Right as it started, I was like, I slept the entire time.
Get out of here.
Yeah, and I'm like dead nut center.
He's the type of guy that would call somebody out. For
I don't know. I was sleeping. Maybe he
classic.
did. My bad.
That's classic.
It's not you, it's me.
Who are your top three?
That's so hard. Oh, no, wait. George Carlin. Eddie Murphy's up there.
Just tapping the mic, baby. Okay.
Is that like slapping the bag? What?
I don't know.
Okay, George Carlin.
Top five. I would say Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor,
Oh, yeah.
Sebastian Maniscalco. Sebastian Menef. Io sono italiano and I can't say it. Sebastian Maniscalco.
Nailed it.
Someone that I saw twice. He's passed on since. One of the funniest comedians, roast king. You know who it is? Don Rickles.
Oh, Oh,
Don Rickles.
interesting.
You want to hear a
Okay.
Don Rickles story?
Sure.
Don Rickles, I don't know if anyone remembers Don Rickles, but he was the king of roast, of the original. He wasn't part of the Rat Pack, but he was during that era. He was a young comedian, and he was trying to make it in the business, and he bumped into Frank Sinatra at an event because he started getting out a little bit. He was with his mother, who was 80 years old at the time. He was a young guy. He goes up to Frank Sinatra, he goes, Mr. Sinatra, Mr. Sinatra, he goes, I'm a comedian, I'm here, I'm merging. He says, can you do me the biggest favor? I heard you're a really great guy. And he says, all right, kid, what do you want me to do? I'm over there with my 80-year-old mother, and it would be amazing if you went over there and pretended that you knew me, right? Frank Sinatra looks at him, okay, I'll do this for you. He goes over there, he's sitting down with his mother and a group at the table, and Frank Sinatra goes over there, he goes, Don, nice to see you. Don looks up to me and goes, can't you see I'm with my family? Why are you bothering me? Frank Sinatra was like embarrassed, but yet just laughed. From then on, they were friends.
Love.
That was his thing. He would try to embarrass you, he'd roast you. The king, he was probably in his 90s when I saw him. He was hilarious. So Don Rickles, Richard Pryor was always hilarious. Eddie Murphy, obviously. Sebastian, and then I would say Cat Williams is funny. Kevin Hart, Chris Rock is funny. What's the new kid that does the ad lib?
Matt Rife.
Matt Rife. It's not so much funny, he's witty.
Yeah.
I used to watch the Apollo, Def Jam comedy. What are your five? Yeah.
I have a hard time narrowing things down, as we've noticed. Carlin was so influential, not just because he was funny and not just because he was an asshole, but he really made you think. For me as a kid, he really opened my mind at a very young age, because he was a little Irish kid from New York. So he was cool with all different groups of humans, all different sectors, all different religions. He's seeing all of the dynamics. As a kid, I'm listening to his tapes, and I'm like, yo, that's crazy. So I'm understanding like different dynamics in the world by way of him, and it's in a hilarious way, and it's very relatable and digestible, even as a kid. It doesn't matter what you think about him, he knows what the fuck he's talking about. So he's always been somebody that's very influential.
George Carlin today, his message still resonates. This was 25, 30, 40 years ago. This guy was talking about things that today you're like, oh my gosh.
100%.
He
Yeah, it was like in the 70s.
brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
I celebrate him. I was in a tanning bed when I lived in Ohio. I was listening to the radio, and it came through. Comedy legend George Carlin has passed away. I was like,
You're an 80s baby, and this is probably a 70s movie, but you quoted a movie today that I was, what? What'd you say?
you asked if we had napkins. I was like, surely we have napkins. And I was like, here's the napkins, and don't call me Shirley.
Right? Airplane crazy.
I grew
Surely
up
we
with
have
like Abbott
napkins,
and
but don't call me
Costello in the
Shirley.
house.
Oh gosh, you can still recite who's on first.
What's on second?
The third is on fourth. I don't even know.
I don't know. Third base. Who picks up his paycheck? Naturally. Bryant, full.
Roller skating or ice skating?
Ice
Roller
skating. I can't roller skate. I can roller blade. Roller skates is very scary to me. If my grandmother had wheels, she'd be a bicycle.
Where was that from?
That Italian chef. She was like, oh, if you put ham, it would be like a carbonara. It's like, gonna explode.
That was good.
Grandmother had wheels, she'd be a bicycle.
You ever seen the Italians? It's on TikTok where people will go break pasta in front of an Italian, and the Italian's, what are you doing? It's so particular in terms of how serious food is taken in Italy. I love it.
Adrian, is Italian likes pasta?
Scavenger hunt or escape room experience?
Ooh,
Scavenger hunt. I've never been to an escape room.
Either. If need be, I know I can break myself out of a room. I don't want to pay somebody.
Yeah.
I'm all set.
I'd love to go if it was some sort of
Yeah.
team building thing.
Out of the two of us, who hogs the covers?
I'd give you the covers, but I would probably assume that you would say that I hog the covers.
I think we're pretty
I'm the
even,
man.
Steve.
I'm the man, and I'm gonna make sure that you have the covers.
Thank you. I'm so cold. We're shipwrecked on a deserted island. Who eats who to survive? We all know the answer to this.
You're gonna probably survive longer if you eat me because I'm more to eat. I'll eat in 2 seconds. It'll be a meal. You'll be able to live longer.
Guess I could dig holes in wilderness to keep his meat cool. I have a plan.
I don't know if I love that question.
You killed you off, not me.
What's your answer?
Oh, I would definitely. I'm a survivalist.
Damn.
With all due respect, I don't think consciously I could allow myself to die. What's my weirdest habit?
You know what I'm thinking, but I'm not gonna say it.
You can.
This one here will fart in any situation ever. She'll be at the store and she'd be like,
I'm an old woman. No offense to old women. I'm lucky I'll be one day as well.
and then she does, and she giggles every time. But that's not a weird thing. I don't think that's weird.
I love that.
I know you do.
That's so cute.
Until you, I was always very private. But people out there, clear your stomach. It's good for you. Gut health is important.
Okay. How do you think I would react to a flying cockroach?
You hate things like that. You hate mice. You lived on a farmhouse for a while, so you've seen a lot of those things. I know you're the type of person that you would lose your shit a little bit.
I think if there's a flying cockroach, I feel like you would be oddly calm about it.
Yeah.
You would just trap it.
I wouldn't probably let it outside. I wouldn't kill it. Obviously, New York and bigger cities, that's prevalent. You see it everywhere. Some of the buildings in Detroit, you still see them. You can eradicate some things.
Oh,
But
in Vegas and when I lived in North Carolina, everywhere. I learned that they go into cardboard boxes.
Oh, wow.
So before you would even move your shit into the house, you'd have to make sure you weren't
Yeah.
inviting a roach nest.
That's real. I love
Ooh.
spiders in the house because spiders take care of everything else.
If you could domesticate any animal and keep it as a pet, what would you choose?
They're a lot of work, but I would definitely have a monkey in the house. I had a friend in college who had a monkey, the craziest stories. And this guy smuggled it from, he was in Brazil or something.
Are you still in contact?
I know him still, but he doesn't have the monkey anymore. He brought the
But
monkey.
he could get one, and that's the
No, but
point.
he brought it on a plane in his jacket and smuggled it from there to here. It attacked somebody at one
Yeah,
point.
fuck yeah, you smuggled it.
Yeah, this thing was wild.
I would get a dragon.
A dragon, are those real?
I swear they're real. Here's the thing, if you go back in any ancient text, art forms, anything, you'll never see a dinosaur, but you'll see a shit ton of dragons. There's a lot of banned literature that you can find. It's travelers and it's their logs. And they were saying over in the Asias, there were giant serpents that had huge eyes, the sizes of bread loaves, mouths big enough to take a man. And that if you could kill it and get the gall out of it, it was like a natural remedy for everything.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
I believe it. there's nothing that I
And the
would debunk.
zodiac, okay? So you got a bunch of animals and a dragon, and we're just gonna assume that's fake? Why the fuck would they pick something fake? I want a
Komodo.
dragon. What is one thing that you feel I'd most likely end up in jail for?
If anyone messed with your kids, you are a mama bear of mama bears. We don't even have sleepovers.
Play dates.
Nobody in the house. That's when things like happen. Think of us as kids. Those of you that have kids out there, sleepovers, even at some family's house. Keep your eye on kids. Keep your eye on everybody.
Period.
Talk to your kids if you have them. If you don't have them yet, be open to talking to your kids when you do.
Period. I think yours would be for some kind of activism.
Just-
see it?
I handle things these days with cool, calm, and collectedness, but you've seen like the tail end of my losing my composure. When was the last time? We were in Birmingham.
Get the that. Somebody honks at him. He hurries up and parks the car and starts chasing them down the street.
Birmingham, a little bit uppity place. I pulled out and almost cut somebody off. I was, oh, I'm sorry. I looked at the man and the woman, and I looked at her. The woman, she's in her 60s, 70s, God bless, and she gave me the finger. I was like, yo, I was apologizing for it, and then you still give me the finger? I had to show them what's up.
What did you show them?
Chased the card out like I was a
No,
rabid
he showed
dog.
our friends that were in the car behind us, unbeknownst to us, that he's chasing them.
Yeah, I was.
Shout
I
out
got,
Maurice and Tige. All he sees the back of Adrian. Grow up, toughen up. Do you feel that I would rather be able to make myself invisible or travel through time?
definitely travel through time, being invisible. But travel through time.
Love that.
I know exactly where you'd go. You'd go right back to Egypt.
I'd be everywhere. I don't even know that I'd like being invisible. I like my presence being known.
When I was a kid in my adolescence, I always thought about being
Of course you
invisible.
did. He saw somebody's mom naked one time when he was riding his bike, then crashed his bike, and then went and told his friends.
If I was invisible,
I could have stayed right there in the road.
they would have known. But probably travel through time. Travel through time to, you can't change time. You're not supposed to get in the way of destiny. It'd be nice to go back and be part of a solution.
I wouldn't even need to interact with anybody. I like to exist as an observer. If I could just go be in certain rooms or even eras to pick up that energy and the essence, then bring it back or go forward, see where we're doing.
I like that. Go out, get the experience, and then bring it back and interpret it your own way.
Learn the lessons. And because so much shit is hidden from us, our American history is watered down, it's whitewashed, it's all fictitious. It's like the media, it's very curated. And globally also, the elitists and the powers that be, they hide everything. Then over the course of time, they keep getting rid of more and more to shape whatever agenda.
The narrative.
Like the dragons.
They're doing it now. They're wiping history in order to serve an agenda. If you have all this knowledge and you have all this backstory, what would you do with it?
I would teach others, raise the collective.
In order to change the future, you have to really grasp and know the past.
Mm-hmm. Who do you think would survive longer in a zombie apocalypse and why?
I think you would. Depends on who was around me. I would fight a lot harder if everyone were around me. If it were just for the sake of my own survival, I'd jump in front of you, they would get me, and you'd do your thing.
Jump in front of me. It's not an act of heroism.
It's not.
You just said you'd give up the ship just if it was your own accord. You said if it was your family, you would fight harder. But if it was just you on your own, I'm saying regardless, I would go balls to the wall until the last second.
Listen, you're in those situations, your adrenaline, your perseverance of being a human being will take over. At the end of the day, my family, you, kids, that to me is what I fight for in life, what I work for.
If I was to bring food into the bedroom, what do you think I would choose?
Well, we rarely eat in the bedroom. In the morning, simple, eggs and toast, some fruit. You're a great cook.
Thank you.
You really are. Thank you. We eat at the table. We don't eat on the couch. We don't watch a lot of TV. I work from the bed often, most nights, which is nice because you chill out. I'm on the computer. I eat a lot of cottage cheese. You might bring me some cottage cheese. Gut health, everyone. Gut health, cottage cheese.
Keeping dairy farmers employed.
I love cottage cheese. People like just, they look at it like it's the grossest thing in the world. I had a little olive oil and salt. Man.
And jalapenos and pickles, hot sauce, and poached eggs.
And a large pizza on top of it.
If I could go back to school for anything, what do you think I would study?
I think it'd be some sort of creative, some sort of art or literature. I don't think it would be a traditional school. I think it would be a school of wizards, a school of wizardry, a school of a spiritual enlightenment. I think you would pursue your natural God-given abilities of being a psychic medium and a spiritual healer. I think you'd go to a school that was led by wizards. Yes.
I love that. Again, everyone has gifts. It's up to you to activate them and be aware of them. I'm special because I'm an individual, but I'm not special, you know what I'm saying? We're all special.
She's special. What do you think I would do if I went back to school?
I think if you went back to school, you would do something in finance where you could really grasp like tax laws and different stuff like that. That's what I would see. Because you do all the other stuff. Like you are formally educated. You do all the creative things. You've had a full life of stuff like this. And I think if you did that, you would dominate other aspects to be your own in-house advisor.
Do you think going to school is important? College.
It depends on who you are and what your goals are.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things you can't do.
Without a college degree.
Pieces of paper. And not to downplay or minimize anybody's college experience because there's no way. There's a way, but I just...
Yeah. I left college a semester early. My father passed away. And then at 31, I was managing the restaurant. I was running a mayoral campaign, and I was going to school. Man, that was crazy. 4 hours of sleep a night for 2 years. That was wild, but I got my degree.
Different strokes for different folks. I went to Harvard on the Rouge, AKA Henry Ford.
Henry Ford's a great school.
I like that.
We got a great school here in our backyard, right here, called Wayne State. Very good school. What do you find yourself thinking about most?
On a regular day, what do I think about most?
Yeah.
My kids, the collective consciousness, how to raise global awareness, starting with self.
That's where it all starts.
A lot of people don't really understand the shift as it's happening. They can feel it energetically in their bodies, but they're not cognitively aware of what it is. It's just like more discomfort for a lot of people. But that's okay, because it'll click when it's meant to.
It's the discomfort of what?
Change. All change has its own discomforts. Even if it's the best thing in the world that's ever happened to you, there's still grieving your old self. You're leaving things behind that no longer serve you. Any elevation has that.
We need change, we demand change. What's going on in the world today is bananas.
Keeping people sick and scared and distracted. When you can fearmonger, you can get people to rally for your cause, because you've convinced them that the only way that it's ever going to be fixed is if you follow me.
All we can do is be the change within what we're put in front of. But at the end of the day, as an outsider looking in, what the fuck?
All of it, what the fuck?
It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
But listen,
Yeah.
after every storm, there's a rainbow. Trust that it's historic, it's cyclic. And not to minimize any of it, but just objectively, things like this happen in history every so often. But we are at a place where, as heightened as the chaos is, the awareness is equal parts, as above, so below. I believe there's never been a more balanced dynamic. It used to be, we'll say, the evil or evildoers and wrongdoers, and then everybody else was kind of an NPC. They were distracted. They were submitting to the systems. They didn't know any better. They were very passively existing, and people aren't passively existing like that anymore.
No, there was more of a consciousness.
With the massive shift in consciousness, there will be global change, period. What that looks like, what time frame that is all subjective. It could change, but it is coming. I see that, I feel that.
And who are you when it's here? Think about that, that's real.
I'm Meg.
I love you.
Well, I love you.
I appreciate you. This was fun. Man, it's thick out here.
It's thick in these streets. Thick.
Yeah. Truth be told, Menace TV, Adrian Tanone.
Meg.
Peace and love.
Shut her down.